Oh, you got her, dude. She's down. Let's go.
Dude, I just shot a deer of a lifetime.
Freaking smoked him.
One with nature, and if you're a believer, one with God.
Definitely gets your heart pumping. Boy, you are in trouble.
Fall Obsession Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Fall Obsession Podcast episode. I am Sam Thresh again with Fall Obsession, your host for this week's podcast episode. Thank you guys for tuning in for another week. This week, we got one of our pro staffers who has been on the podcast before, Mr. Kurt Echelberry, joining us. Kurt, welcome back.
Hey, man. Good to be back.
Yes, sir. And we also have a newcomer to our podcast, a good friend of Kurt's, Mr. Jeff Hasselbach, joining us on the podcast as well. Jeff, welcome to Fall Obsession Podcast, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this. First one ever.
Well, we're happy to have you. And I think I pronounced your name right, too. So I got that.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, I got that going for me. Well, guys, we really appreciate you guys coming on this week. The theme for this week's episode is finally, at last, turkey hunting. We are here in the later part of March. If seasons haven't already kicked off, those early seasons, then they're about to. So I know the anticipation is high and everybody's excited to start chasing some spring birds, and I'm sure you guys are as well.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. We're getting amped up.
So close, but so far away.
Counting down the days.
Yep.
I was just going to say 28 days to youth season.
Counting it down. That's what I'm talking about. Well, to kind of get things kicked off, I know that you guys had some pretty cool turkey hunts, and Kurt was able to produce some pretty sweet videos on that last season. So I kind of want to just get into our conversation, recapping some of those hunts that you guys had last year. And Jeff, I know that your son, JT, he shot a really nice bird last year during youth season, and Kurt put together a really sweet video on that hunt as well.
Yeah, we did real good on that, man. He had three nice times to choose from that day, and he killed a real nice bird.
So tell us a little bit about that hunt, like going into it, kind of where it was, location, any previous turkey hunting experiences that you or JT may have had leading up to that. What made you pick that spot, and what made that hunt special?
Well, I guess to get started with the turkey hunting, I've never really turkey hunted in my life. My father-in-law and family and that, they've all turkey hunted. And I just never was that interested in getting up that early in the morning, But my brother-in-law got my son JT involved, and we had hunted, a couple years ago, and ended up killing a Jake. We were all three together, and that was pretty cool. I mean, that really put the hooks in me, I guess. I was onto it after that,
Yeah.
So then last year, I had some trail cameras up in my parents'. I was getting pictures of a flock of about 12 or 13 birds, and we kept an eye on them, and they live right next door to a private runway. Well, me and JT had gone out, got permission to hunt the runway there, and we started scouting for turkeys. And we didn't know where they were roosting or anything, so we just kind of walked around, tried to look under the trees, see if we could find, any remains of turkeys, feathers, anything we could. And we never did find them. And we ended up coming back a few mornings later, and we just got right behind one of the hangars and sat down and waited to see if we could start hearing gobbling, and they were right above us. Like, we both were jaws hit the ground when that gobbler opened up, man. And then it was just three of them going back and forth, and we were right in it. Never thought that they'd be right where they were at, but we got to experience kind of like our first fly down and all that right there, man. And we were stoked, man. We were just shaking. And it wasn't even turkey season, we just sat down and let them all come down, and then we just watched them get out on the runway, and they just strutted up and down that thing.
Yeah, you did tons of preseason scouting, though. He called me and wanted me to come over and check it out and see what I thought. I mean, they come down, I don't know, there's probably 10 or 12 at first, and the way, just like you said, with the strutting and stuff, they walked right in front of us. It was like a real misty morning, just super cool video footage, a lot of hen talk, gobbling, and I knew we had something when I got to see that. So
Yeah, that was cool, man. We went, and then me and Kurt, we came and shot some video in that, and kind of figured out a game plan of what to do, and we just set up on them. First day, I think we had snow, didn't we?
Yep, 4 inches of snow that morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they flew down, and then we ended up having a coyote come running down the runway, and kind of changed our hunt altogether, And I've always told JT, whatever we're hunting, if we see a coyote, we're coyote hunting, But I'm like, man, Kurt was next to us, and I was like, I don't know if we shoot the coyote, do we, are we gonna blow it or what? And then Kurt's like, hey, we gotta shoot this coyote, He tried to get JT to swing on it, but coyote busted us. But man, he was coming right in. He was ready to pounce on our decoys. Coyote took off. Turkeys took off, kind of ruined our hunt. So we ended up coming back the next day. Got set up in there, and they just did their thing, man. They strutted up and down. And they finally seen our decoy, man, and they were like on a string, come right in. They all three were going to pounce on our Jake decoy there, and JT flattened one.
But back to that coyote, I've hunted these things a long time, the turkey, and I've never ever witnessed that before, where those turkeys will actually fly back up into the tree. I mean, it was probably 2 hours into legal shooting light, and when that coyote came in, they were right back up in the roost area, and they stayed there until we gave up. I mean, 10, 11 o'clock, we finally hung it up and went home because they weren't going to fly down. So that was something new for me to experience.
Absolutely. So this is all taking place during youth season, correct?
Yep. That was Ohio youth season.
Gotcha. So how pumped was JT about this bird?
Oh, man. I don't think he's come down from it yet, to be honest.
A year later, we're still pumped. Awesome.
Yeah. So we just got his half mount back about a month ago or 3 weeks or so, and just pumped him right back up. So
awesome. Well, very cool, man. And then following that hunt, you guys had another kind of unique experience where you guys doubled up one morning, but you only had one shotgun.
Yeah. That was kind of the trade-off was, I filmed JT, and I don't know what the plan was, but I was like, you want to run camera for me, Jeff? He's like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So we went out to some private ground that I have, and I remember it was like a super, super cold morning, and we sat there as long as we could and waited it out. They just weren't playing the game, and we kept after them, took a little walk to warm up, and I hit the slate like one time and one hammered, so we just set up in some pines and really had to work. I mean, just for them being Jakes, man, they wouldn't leave those hens. I remember that. I threw everything in the book at them to get them to come up out of this bottom, and I don't know. I think Jeff was like, there he is, and I'm trying to like, are you on him? No, yeah, it was like he was probably 15 feet behind me, and I was trying not to move. I could see this Jake's head, and I finally let it rip, dumped him, and then I stood up to see what was going on, and the other bird that was with him decided to attack him, and I passed the gun off to Jeff, and it was horrible footage after the shot because obviously we're zoomed in trying to get my bird, and I was more worried about maybe Jeff had never shot a Mossberg 500 like I used, so I'm trying to tell him make sure he knew where the safety was and stuff, which he shoots Mossberg knowing now, so it wasn't a big deal. I could have just videoed and had a second video of another bird getting shot, but I guess that maybe a lesson learned, if you are going to go hunt with a buddy and only decide to take one gun, make sure the other hunter's familiar with that gun too, just in case you have to pass it off. That's not my first time ever having to do that. I've taken guns from buddies, and vice versa. So that kind of opened my eyes, I guess.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty exciting, man. I wasn't going there to shoot a turkey at all, and I was just going for the experience and run the camera and that. Next thing I know, Kurt sneaks off and plays him a little tune on his pot call there, and like they were right next to us. Kurt looks back at me, got these huge eyes, man. And he's belly crawling back to me because they were right on top of us when they gobbled there, and we got set up. And, man, shot that turkey, and next thing I know, I got a Mossberg 500 coming at me. Here, shoot this other turkey.
He's just throwing a shotgun your way.
Yeah. That was cool, man. That was my first turkey I've ever killed. You know, it was a Jake, and I was happy as can be with it, man. It was crazy. You know, it's really been fun getting out into the turkey woods and doing this. You know, it's really converting me from more, I think, from more whitetail into more of a turkey hunter.
Yeah, it's always, you get a little bit of taste of it in your mouth, and I mean, it's kind of like bow hunting, like, you know, and I don't know what your experiences are, Jeff, but I know for me, I grew up a rifle hunter, and when I started bow hunting, it changed the game for me, and kind of the same deal. Grew up whitetail hunting and started turkey hunting, and it's a whole nother obsession in and of itself.
That's for sure, man. That is for sure.
That's kind of a team hunt too. You know, you don't always get to do that in the whitetail woods. You know, you're usually out doing individuals, or, you know, you can hunt in 3 or 4 people, you know, 3 or 4 person groups, turkey hunting if you want. You know, that's what I like about it. You know, it's not, you don't have to be so serious about it. You know, if you don't get one, you can always go buy one. You know? That's the way I look at it.
That is true. Well, some awesome hunts that you guys had last year, and appreciate y'all recapping that. And for our listeners' sake, both of these hunts that these guys just talked about, they are on our YouTube channel and social media pages from last year. So Kurt did a really good job, and Jeff too, filming these hunts, and we put together some videos on them. So y'all go check those videos out. I guarantee they'll get you pumped up for this turkey season for sure. So kind of moving on, guys. We're, like I said at the beginning, we're at the start, at the pregame basically for the 2021 turkey season. So we talked about last year. What are we looking at this year for you guys? What's on the agenda? Any new properties or anything that you guys have this year, and what's the game plan?
Yeah, we're still trying to iron this out. Ohio has moved their season back. It always opened up on a Monday, and they moved it to a Saturday now. So it kind of, I don't know, messes things up because we are going to hunt, you know, between West Virginia and Ohio. You got to try to line it up to where, you know, you're getting youth hunts in, and then, you know, the regular season. So we're still trying to plan that out. But for sure, I mean, West Virginia for me and Ohio, and hopefully Jeff can make an appearance in West Virginia as well. I just picked up another 44 acres that I haven't really been on that much. I walked it a couple times before I purchased it, and looks like great turkey country. And talking to the neighbors, sounds like there's a lot of birds that get to go or come through there. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna. I mean, youth season comes number one for us. I mean, it's way more fun watching the kids get to kill them, you know. But I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to answer that about when we're going to start or where, but I guess youth season West Virginia comes in first, so I guess we'll tackle that first when it comes. But
yeah, I would say on my side of things, I guess I've been kind of actively going around trying to pick up some property, talking to some deer hunting friends of mine that are not turkey hunters, you know, trying to get some trail camera photos of where the turkeys are at, you know what I mean, and doing some scouting with that. I've been trying to hit the woods in the morning, I guess. I just really haven't had any luck with that yet, getting out, but things are starting to warm up a little bit around here, and we'll hopefully start locating some birds and get that under wrap.
What kind of gear setups and everything are you guys anticipating running this season?
Well, new for me, we've been doing a lot of pattern testing with chokes and stuff. That's kind of new to me, man. I've never owned a full choke, I guess, or an extra full at that. You know, I think I've shot every bird with a modified choke, or like the Mossberg 500 has the Accu choke, which is just a modified. And I've had to do some follow-up shots, yeah. But this year, I installed it's made by Mossberg. It's their extra full, I guess. So I've been pattern testing with that. I know Jeff's been switching barrels around and trying to, I don't know, different loads, I guess, too. As far as new gear on top of that, I guess the Fall Obsession pot call. I don't know if you've got to use that yet, Sam, but it's well worth the investment. Adam did a great job on building those. I've owned a lot of slate calls, and it's glass slate combo, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I've owned a lot of that style in my life. Kind of getting away from using the big brand names. I've used HS Strut for most of my life, but I'm liking the custom stuff, man. It's he did a good job. One thing I do is I will go through all my strikers and see which one sounds the best on all my calls together. That way I only have to carry one. Nothing against Adam's striker. I just had an extra one from, it might be an HS Strut or I can't remember what brand it is, but it sounded the best across the board, so I'm going to use it. So I just don't want to get jumped by everybody when it doesn't say Pinnacle View on my striker. but it is a solid call, man. I roughed it up the other night, and man, I tell you, that pitch that the glass puts off, it's pretty unreal. And you get to sound like two different birds in one call too. You know, you flip it over, sound like two different hens. So there's that. And then finally broke down and bought a Woodhaven diaphragm, the Ninja. I'm gonna run that this year. I think I've always used Quaker Boy or HS Strut reeds, and I think that's about it for me. I might be in the market for a new decoy. That's about it for me.
Yeah, I tell you, with me, you know, I think I got Kurt on it a little bit too. I've been testing some of that TSS, man. I'm kind of new to all this, but that tungsten super shot is, from what I've seen, far superior to copper coated lead. You know, I guess, I don't know if you guys have dealt with that, but you know what I mean, they're shooting smaller shot, you're getting more shot per shell, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with JT shooting a 20 gauge, you know what I mean, and trying to give him the biggest advantage that I can, you know what I mean, the stuff's really expensive, but I mean, I guess if it involves a dead bird, you know what I mean, I'm all right with paying a little extra money versus, you know, letting one get away. You know, other than that, I guess just picked up some decoys. You know, I got a full body decoy and got my Mossberg 935 tuned up, ready to go.
What did we use last year? What was your decoys last year?
We had them Avian X.
Yeah. That's a really good brand, man.
Yeah.
Those guys do have some quality decoys. That's just like with goose hunting too, you know, like appearance is everything, you know.
Yeah.
And those Avian X, I do believe that, like, I got an old school Primos one, you know, and I thought when we killed JT's bird, I was like, man, I don't even know if they would have came to that thing, but like, soon as they locked in on those Avian X, they were committed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think we called.
Right.
I
No,
think
we
that-
didn't.
We did not rip one call when we killed on that with JT. I mean, it, like, just the decoys did the work. So, I mean, the appearance of your decoy, yeah, they're a little bit more pricier, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's about getting one if you can, you know, and you're going to spend that kind of money. Might as well get a good one, like Avian X, I guess. But I'm sure there's some other good manufacturers you can get. You know, I like the Primos line too. They got the new photo cell or photo form one they got, looks pretty good. So
Yeah.
But then again, I've killed them with the $25 Walmart specials too. So, you know, it's hard to say. I think a lot of guys get hung up on having to have the most expensive and the best, but I mean, theoretically, you can do it cheap if you want.
Yeah, I ended up buying some from a guy I work with. He contacted me, seen the videos of JT hunting and that, and he's like, hey, man, I got a good deal for you. I'm too old to turkey hunt anymore, but I got some good decoys. And I ended up getting I think it's a pretty boy and a pretty girl. It's like a molded full body tom, you know, and you could put a fake or a real fan on it. You know, I mean, it's probably not gonna be the best to drag through the woods, but pretty excited to try to get that thing out. But you know, I mean, I'm $50 into that, and we'll see how those go. But they look pretty good. So
Heck yeah. Well, awesome deal.
and that, I guess, turkey call wise, I bought some Woodhaven diaphragms and been trying to play those, trying to learn how to blow a locator call. You know, it's kind of all new to me, man. I've been sitting at work. I'm locomotive engineer. I sit up there all day and try to blow turkey calls, play out calls and all that. My conductors probably, most of them about had enough of it, I think, but they only got another month to put up with it. So.
Well, good deal, guys. Yeah, Kurt, to echo what you said about our pot call that we have available for sale right now. I do have one sitting right next to me right now, actually, and it's I've been thoroughly impressed. Whenever I've turkey hunted, I've just used an old box call that actually my dad gave to me years and years ago, and that's what I've used up till now, and it's a good call. But I am very excited and very pumped about this call that Adam's put together. For those of you who don't know, Adam Seitz is one of our pro stabbers up in Pennsylvania. He runs Pinnacle View calls up there, makes custom turkey calls, and this year he put together a Fall Obsession pot call for us, which is available for sale on our online store. It is an awesome quality call, and experienced turkey hunters such as Kurt have been very pleased with it up till now. So I look forward to seeing those calls in the woods and hopefully some dead birds behind them here in the weeks and months to come. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna try it out, man. It'll work out. I've done enough calling with it now where I feel pretty comfortable. That's funny, you know, how they're all different too. You know, you could line up 3 different slates, and you pretty much have to use it 3 different ways,
yeah,
you know, to get the right pitch. Yeah. So, but Adams was quick, man. I scuffed it up with the Scotch Brite, and then I chalked the backside, and I mean, it was like 5 minutes. I had it down. I was like, all right, you know, we'll give it a whirl. So.
Heck yeah.
Yep. I like that custom stuff, man. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's for sure done good work with it, so I'm happy that it's working out good. Well, guys, another thing that I have in the notes that we discussed prior to this episode and some stuff that you sent me over, Kurt, one topic that you did want to cover, and I know, Jeff, you actually mentioned something about it earlier when you were talking about that coyote coming in and how you tell JT, you know, if we see a coyote, it turns into a coyote hunt type deal. I know, Kurt, you wanted to hit on some predator prevention stuff here real quick too, and how that's relevant. I guess not only during, you know, turkey specifically, but just in general too.
Yeah, so I mean, that's another good tailgate talk before you head to the woods, you know, is make sure you and your hunting partner, you know, are you going to kill a coyote if he comes in or not? You know, some guys don't like to, you know, mess up their turkey hunt, but I've been running the Reveal Tacticam at a private property that we get to hunt, and the coyote pictures have been really high lately. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean obviously we got more of a population of coyotes there than some of my other places, but you know, I'd like to put a dent in it. The problem is it's a overgrown. Actually, I think it is just a CRP field, but usually that CRP grass is so tall you can't get in there and put up a good set to call them in. Well, this year we had heavy snow, which would have been, I went out there like a couple weeks ago, and I was kind of kicking myself for not trying it because the weeds were actually pushed down enough to where we could get a good set. So I could just like, man, I don't know what we're going to do. You know, you only go out, you know, you might kill 1 or 2 dogs, you know, on one set, but, you know, probably the most efficient way and to get more dogs is obviously trapping, I would say. And Jeff's got a lot of background in doing stuff like that. So we were kind of talking today about maybe getting some trapping going out there, especially after I just got a report back from the landowner there, said he found a dead bird in the food plot along with a yearling deer. Right where we had our blind for muzzleloader and shotgun season. So, you know, who knows what all went on with that, but I got a pretty good feeling it was definitely coyotes. I mean, I'm getting pictures of pairs, singles, in broad daylight, midnight, you know, just if a camera just keeps popping them off. So yeah, we got to do something about that.
So, I'm asking what y'all's opinion is on this, because I know there's, at least I've gotten in discussions with folks over the years about predator hunting, and if you should do it during deer or turkey season, or if you should only do it during the off season. So I want to get y'all's take on that, because there always seems to be somewhat of a debate depending on where you go and who you talk to.
That was another thing, you know, I didn't want to go in there and start doing a bunch of sets and this would primarily refer like to or deer season. You don't want to be in there shooting coyotes if you're trying to kill a deer. But I was kind of thinking the same thing with turkey. I'm like, I really don't want to have or be out there messing with the birds and trying to do sets of killing coyotes. Like, trapping, you just set them and go. You might cruise by on the 4-wheeler every day or whatever to check them. But I think there's a lot less footprint in there, a lot less disturbance. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Just you don't have near as much presence, and you can cover a lot more ground. With trapping, I feel you can kind of cover just about every entrance and every exit they got if you got enough traps or snares or whatever you use. For I think there's kind of two different styles. There's the exterminating and just fur harvesting, I would say. But in our case, I'm more for the extermination of them. Than fur trapping now. But like Ohio, we have year round. You can trap coyotes, so you just catch any non-target animals. We got to release them or whatever. But that's kind of the plan. Maybe while they're breeding here, I think they're just about out of their breeding season, but hopefully we can thin a few out.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, one more thing that I got for us before we take it to closing for this week's episode is we do have something new going on at Fall Obsession this season, something that we've never really done before, and I'm excited about it, and that is our 2021 turkey hunt competition, where we're letting teams of 2 sign up and submit their birds that they kill this season for a chance to actually win some cash money. So I'm pretty pumped about this contest that we've come up with, and I know some turkey hunters like y'all selves, some have already registered, and I know you guys are planning on getting in on it as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've got a lot of positive feedback. Just we haven't even had it, out where people can, apply for it that long. And I've been getting a lot of texts and positive feedback from people, thinking it's a really cool idea. And it's kind of cool you're not trapped to one, like, local, your sportsman shop. That's how they do it here. Like your big buck contest might be at, like, one local deal, one local business or something. But, like, here, everybody can jump on and hopefully get a big pot out of this. There's a lot at stake to win if the guys do manage to kill some big birds. As far as my hunting partner, we haven't really thought that through yet. We don't really know what teams we're going to do. Maybe me and Lawton and then you and JT. But if the kids start talking a bunch of trash, we might just team them together and do it on their own. So it depends how cocky they get before season, I guess. No, but I think Jeff maybe said something about his wife might try it this year. Maybe that was she. Yeah,
I don't know what we're going to do yet. We thought about, doing the kids doing one and then the adults doing one or whatnot, but we're gonna try to get my wife out there. She's never done it. Try to get that. Might have to team up with her maybe. I don't know yet. We got a lot to come, with the turkey season, and trying to decide who's going to be the winner with me is kind of something I stay up at night thinking about here.
Well, guys,
she calls it turkey shenanigans.
Yeah, guys, so if you guys haven't heard about it yet, our turkey hunt competition is live. Registration is open. The hunt itself and the date range to kill your birds in is April 10th through May 16th. But registration or pre-registration is already open, so and we've already had some teams sign up. And like Kurt pointed out, it's hopefully going to be a pretty big pot. We're going to have 3 separate winners, and each winner is basically getting a percentage of registration fees that come in. So the more people that we get registered for this competition, the bigger the pot for each winner is going to get. So all that information is available on our website, fallobsession.com. You can head over there and check it out, see all the details and the rules and regulations for the competition, or you can find it through our social media pages. So, well, guys, I appreciate you both coming on and talking a little bit of turkey hunting with me this morning. It's been fun. But before we cut y'all loose on this one, Jeff, this is your first time on the podcast, so every time we have a newcomer to our podcast, we got some questions that we like to ask you in closing, if you're good with that.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what's in store, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
We won't try to trip you up too much, so.
Might get a bunch of outtakes out of this one.
So the first question I got is, what is your favorite hunting memory and why?
Man, I tell you what, my favorite hunting memory is when JT shot his first deer. My wife had bought me a new Thompson Center muzzleloader for Christmas, and some friends of mine got a small farm, but usually holds quite a few deer. We got permission to go out there. I had put a couple 100 pounds of corn out there, and had JT in a blind, and man, we had a doe come out with a fawn or whatever, you know. It was December 17th or something like that. It was our weekend gun season in Ohio here. She come out 35 yards, man, and he smoked her, man, dropped her right in her tracks. I videoed it all with my phone. I put a little short clip of it on YouTube, but man, me and him were both like, I was welled up, and I'm like, you know, I'm asking him if he's all right, and he's, you know, about in tears, and you know, my brand new gun got thrown off the stand, you know, I mean, it's laying on the ground, and man, he was 7 years old, and he did it all on his own, man. We dropped that deer, man, and like I said, you could see it, the video says it all, you know, I mean, I was almost in tears. JT was too. We were all choked up, but that's probably one of my most favorite hunting memories there.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how kids heighten the hunting experience. You know, I mean, it's like my excitement for hunting everything and trapping and all that has just grown tremendously with bringing JT on. And you know, McKenna, my daughter, she's 5. I'm sorry. She's trying to start getting into it a little bit, you know what I mean? So hopefully we can get her going, you know what I mean? I'm just totally looking forward to making a ton of memories with these kids, you know?
Very cool. All right, next question I have for you. What is a bucket list hunt that you have not gotten to do yet? What's at the top of your list?
Yeah. Oh, man. They're all at the top, really. I mean, I don't even know where to start, really. Like, I wouldn't even know. I'd love to shoot an elk or a moose, or, you know what I mean, even go for the grand slam on the turkeys, you know. I don't know. I'm up for anything, you know. I don't really know if I had to pick one, you know what I mean, which one would really be my number one hunt. But it'd be tough, man. You really got me on that. Man,
I mean, it's not always just about number one either. Like, I mean, I have what I consider my top 3 or my top 5, but I mean, that's not to say that I would take one over the other if an opportunity came along, you know. So, I mean,
right.
A lot of guys have their list, but yeah, I don't know of anybody who wouldn't take any opportunity that came along before another. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I'd even love to go do prairie dog hunting, you know. I don't even think you really see much of that like I used to, but, you know, I'd be up for anything, man. If it involves, you know, hunting and friends and family and all that, man, like, now, I don't know if I'd be up for... Kurt's going to have to get me in shape when we go to Colorado. I'm a little bit more round and a little bit slower than he is, but if we're going to go try to kill an elk sometime, but... Man, I like I said, I don't think I could really give you the exact number one, but.
Man, that's all good. All of those would be bucket list hunts in my opinion, no doubt.
Right.
All right, third and final question, and this is kind of for both of you actually, but obviously turkey season. We're talking turkey hunting today. Big piece of advice, whether it's a novice turkey hunter or an experienced turkey hunter, what's a big piece of advice you each got for guys hitting the woods this spring trying to kill a good bird?
Man, I would say pattern test your shotgun loads, you know what I mean, and scout, you know, try to find the birds would be my novice advice.
For sure, absolutely.
Kurt?
Don't be the hen that's walking toward the gobbler and calling. That's my big one. I like to use a owl hoot or a crow call until I feel like I am in that gobbler's bubble, and then start doing my hen calls. Then that's the way I used to hunt them, and was very successful almost every time. In these last few years, I kind of really had to work for it. And I was listening to a podcast the other day of a guy explaining how he did it, and I'm like, that's the way I used to do it. Why I changed, I don't know, but it does work. Like, don't be like the hen that's going to him, make him come to you, and sometimes you got to get closer to make that happen. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, I guess. Give it a try. I don't know.
No, that's very good advice for sure. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you guys again for coming on this week's episode and talking some turkey hunting. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having us, man. It's been fun talking about it. I'm getting excited even more.
For sure. Yeah, it'll get you pumped up. And we're actually going to reconnect with you guys again for what looks like will probably be next week's podcast also, and recap a big deer that you shot last year, Jeff. So we'll talk to you. We'll be talking to you next week about that too.
Yeah, cool. Look forward to it.
Yes, sir. So a little sneak peek for next week, everybody. But if you haven't already, hit that follow and subscribe button on whatever app you're listening to this podcast on. We are on all the major podcast apps, YouTube, and our podcasts are also found on our website, fallobsession.com, which is the hub for all of our content. You can find our reviews, our videos, our articles, recipes, video series, a bunch of other stuff, and that's where you can register for our 2021 turkey hunt competition. We also have some apparel on there that you guys can check out. T-shirts are on sale right now, and we also have our new Spring Thunder turkey hat that we're running that's available for pre-order, so go check that out as well. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and again, the hunts that Jeff and Kurt talked about at the beginning of this episode are on that YouTube channel, and you guys can go watch those from last season. Guys, thank you all again for coming on this week. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. We will catch you guys again next week for another Fall Obsession podcast episode.